So the other day I was in my chair waiting for something to happen until I got the idea to fuck around in Kickstarter. Of course I didn't have any money to give away cause I gotta save up on the new Animal Crossing game. You'll be mine someday. But then I came across this game called Other. Now I thought that was a stupid name, so I had to check it out. Found out there was a free demo, tried it out. Does any of you have a free pair of pants? Because I think I just jizzed in mine. Okay, so it just so happens that I stumbled upon the best RPG ever by complete accident, and that might sound biased, because it probably is. Other, Her Loving Embrace, is the video game created by the guys at Chimera Labs. The game is set in the Kingdom of Golden. You play as a small child called Gershom. Gervlum, I don't know his name. A boy with magical abilities, such as bubbles, and that's about it. You also follow this guy called Wizard, which ironically fights with his fists because he doesn't know shit about magic. Garf and Gandalf have to save the kingdom from these monsters called spirits, and that's all you should know before playing this game. I'll be honest, at the start I was kinda confused because the game starts out without introducing any of the characters. You have this little cutscene drawn by Gershom at the start of the game, and that's about it. But it doesn't explain much. The game quickly makes up for that for its amazing chemistry between Garchomp and Wizrobe. Magic Boy is a child which is scared of everything, but slowly learns to become brave, and there's Unmagic Man, which is probably one of my favorite video game characters behind Terry Hintz. So here's the deal, this dude claims that he's this amazing wizard, except for the fact that he doesn't do magic at all, and actually he's a pathological liar, and the only reason he wants to save the kingdom is for fame and money. He acts like an asshole half of the time, but deep down, you can tell he cares for Gerb. Now let's move on to the best part of the video game, the actual game. The game plays like any regular RPGs, except it features a lot of puzzles, and you know how I like my puzzle? Like I like my coffee. Non-existent, I fucking hate coffee. Not to say that they're a bad puzzle, but mostly that it's not my cup of tea. Except that I don't even like tea. I think I spent most of the demo just doing puzzles because my inferior brain doesn't know how to process more than one block on screen. This game's battle mechanics are where I lost my mind. But in the good way. Okay, so have you played any Mario and Luigi game? No, not 4. I mean the actual game itself. Okay, so you remember how those battles were interesting because you had to react to attacks and stuff? Yeah, so Other takes that idea, throws it in the trash, and proceeds to tap dance on its grave because it's 20 times better than that idea. Battle phases go like this. Instead of inputting an attack, you actually get to play the part where you attack the enemy. You're thrown in this platformer section where you have to juggle the hell out of your opponents to rack up damage. Meanwhile, you rack up energy in your super mega cum blast bar so you can dish out even more damage. Now that's sick, but it takes it one step further. When enemies attack, they do the same thing to you, except it's reversed. Now you gotta run away and dodge attacks, and don't even think you can just tank it like in Mario and Luigi. In this game, you have a limited amount of hits, and then you're out. Both Small Child and Big Man have a different moveset. Gurk is your magic caster, which I'll get into later, and Wizzle's your fister. He fists enemies. God damn it, he just punches things, okay? You might notice a huge lack of magic from Magic Boy, and that's because you also have skills, which are minigame input thingies where you press the button at the right moment to rack up damage. Now here's the problem. Why would I do that when I can play basketball with my enemies? Yeah, the issue here is that the game is too fun, and so all of their battle mechanics are rendered boring because they're not as cool as the actual normal attacks. That literally never happened to me in any other video game. Another issue with the game is the lack of tutorial, or good tutorial to be precise. So basically, at the start of the game, you get these books with the instructions, but god is there so many books, and I'll be the first one to say it, probably no one has read these books because reading sucks in a video game, especially if it's for tutorial purposes. Listen, I'm here to have fun, not to read Homestuck again. I've done that twice. Leave me alone. That meant when I went into my first battle, I got demolished because the game doesn't ease you into battles. It assumes you understand the game completely, so it kicks your ass immediately. That made the start of the game very painful to go through. Now you might say, why is that an issue? You could just read the books and you would have been fine with it. Now here's a tip in game design, kiddo. If I have to read through pages and pages of instructions to play your game, that means your tutorial is horrible. To put this in a simpler perspective, let's say you want to learn how to use a gun, and let's assume you're a complete dumbass and you don't know how to use it. So you get this book, it tells you how to use the gun. But here's the issue, the book tells you how to use the gun, but like it's super long to read through and it doesn't even have any pictures or reference. So it tells you about the safety and how you have to unlock it, but you don't really know what that is. And then you get the gun for the first time, but instead of going through practice to, you know, practicing what you learned, instead you get attacked by this guy with a knife. See what I mean? Anyways, let's move on. Even though I hate puzzles as much as I hate Sonic and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I have to admit, the way they work is pretty interesting. So remember about these old boring skills from earlier? Yeah, you can use all of Breg's abilities on the overworld, and I think that's such a cool idea. But the thing is that here, the tutorial isn't told through reading, but through actual gameplay, which is good. So why didn't they do that with the actual battle sequences? But I know this is only a demo, so I'm pretty sure most of my nitpicks with this game will be resolved when the game comes out. If we're talking about aesthetics, this game nails the old NES style, which I love. I always get a kick out of pixel art, except that I really don't like the overworld sprites. Like, okay, I get that it fits, but it does not look good. But if we're talking about the music, this stuff's amazing. I love these chiptune tracks. They all sound so good. I think I'm having an eargasm from it. Oh, also on a side note, I met the merchant only once, but somehow I already know that there's going to be porn of her in the future. And I'm not complaining. Other is an amazing RPG, both for its story and its gameplay. When everyone's stuck at home, we all have a lot of free time, so I suggest you check out the demo. It's in the description. The demo's free, it's almost 2 hours long, and let me tell you, the final boss of the demo really surprised me with how it flipped the battle section on its head. But I'll leave it at that for now. I really had a good time with this game, and it makes me really excited for the full game.